everyone, it's Lizzie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through the last paycheck of October. It is Halloween and it is payday for me and also my husband. So I'm just going to combine everything in this paycheck budget sheet so that you guys can follow along. So if you're interested in seeing how I managed to break down our budget, then keep on watching. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started filling this in. So the payday today is the 31st. So I have the date. Now is where you want to see how much you have left over in your bank account. Now this could be from if you didn't use all of your gas money that you budgeted out for, or maybe a bill might have been less that it was auto debited. So right now the beginning balance of the day of the available balance was $707.09 was my starting balance in my checking account of what was available. And now is when I'm gonna go ahead and share what the paychecks were for me to break down. So the first one I'm gonna put is my husband's. So his pay that he received was $658.93. He gets paid weekly. And then my paycheck, now this has seriously, it's been such a blessing. I have to be honest, let me just vent for a little bit. I'm gonna share just a little piece of what I received. With my job, I don't know if you all know, but I do work at a bank, and we get paid bonuses and different things for sales and our performance and all of that. And so my pay kind of fluctuates. It's never a set amount like how my husband's is. I pretty much know exactly what his pay is going to be each week. Mine, I get paid bi-monthly, so that's twice a month, the 15th and the last day of the month. So my pay, it all depends on how many days there are for that pay, and also if I made any sales, if I, did referrals and all of that. So because it is the last day of October, that is the day that we get our payout for, or the bonus from the prior quarter. And guys, I was so shocked at the number of what my take-home pay was, or is. So it is truly a blessing from God, I have to say. But this is my total pay, $1,704.71 is what I had received. And I am just, oh my God, God knows what our desires are, and He's the one that is the provider for us. And I truly believe that. And so it's just amazing. But that's just a quick thing that I wanted to share. So now I'm going to go ahead and add up what the starting balance was and also what the paychecks were. So we're going to add that up together. So $7.09, $658.93 plus 17. Oh my gosh. 709 plus 658.93 plus 1704.71. So that gives us a total balance of $2,370.73 for the total income that we have to figure out what we're gonna do with. Now the first thing that I do right from the start is I do 10% of what my income is. So it's really the two of these put together. But just for this time, I'm just going to use this number here as the tithe amount. So that is I put $237 for that. And currently, I'm not going to put anything extra towards offering at this time. We're just going to give our tithe. So once I do that, now I can break down what the expenses are, and I have a bill tracker that I'm gonna go ahead and grab here. So I've already broken this down based on each of the paychecks. So I have 1031 written twice. So I'm just gonna add this up together. I should have done that from the beginning, but when I was first filling this out, this is what makes sense. What had made sense in my head was just to break it down by paycheck, even though it was on the same day. So what I did was I just went ahead and added these two together, and I'm gonna make a list here of what the expenses are. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in so that you can see better. So the first expense that's on my bill tracker is the mortgage. So I'm gonna go ahead and just write in mortgage. Okay, so based off of this tracker here, we're gonna go ahead and add up these two, 245.55. So we're gonna multiply that by 2. So 491.10 is what I'm gonna put as the budgeted amount. 491.10. And then here, I'm just gonna put a little check that we went ahead and separated that in our paycheck budget. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for each of these. So 1588 times 2. So 3176 is the Disney. And then I'm gonna mark this off like that. Okay, 17 times 2 is 34 for the internet. Okay, ADT, 16 each, so 16 times 2 is 32. The water bill is going to be 42. I'm going to check that off. Here we only have $53 set aside for car insurance. I'm gonna mark that off. $24 set aside for the phone. $53 set aside for the car. Okay, moving right along, I had made a note that we are going to be setting aside $75 is what the budget was for groceries. So we'll make note of that. And then HOA is $34. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this aside, and then we're going to get into adding all of this up. So right now, for our fixed expenses, we're already at $794.86, but we still have a few things that we have to budget for, such as gas and also paying any extra like variable expenses. So I'm gonna go ahead and list that now. So gas, we typically spend about $85 a week on gas, and that's for the both of us. My husband does a lot of traveling for work. He commutes to work, And so he uses a little bit more gas than I do, and I typically will put maybe $25 to $30. So for gas, we're going to set aside $85. And then SunPass, I do have a balance to pay for SunPass, and that is $20. Now I'm going to go ahead and share an update on this SunPass account. I had been putting my SunPass on that auto load for SunPass, and it was linked to a credit card of mine. Now, what I noticed is that it just kept reloading a whole lot, and I was not prepared for that. So I think I'm going to go back to how I was doing it originally, where I would manually load it once it fell below a certain amount. Like once it reached like maybe a $5 balance, I will load $10. But how this SunPass account works when you want that auto load is if it fell at $10, it would load $10. And that was the minimum I was able to select. So I would have a balance of like 20 something dollars, and I only really used maybe $10 each week. So there was still money in there, but because it fell below, it would charge my card the $10 when it wasn't necessary. So I was getting charged like maybe like $20 a week, when usually I would only have to pay like $10, $15 or so. So I'm just going to go back to the whole manual thing and have that card be at the $0 balance and not have to worry about that anymore. So that's just a quick update on this. But now I'm going to go ahead and add these two to this total. So the 85 plus the 20. So this gives me a total balance for my expenses of $899.86. Okay? So now is the part where I'm going to take my income and subtract all of these things. So I'm going to zoom you out again so that we can follow along together. Oh, I don't think I'm zoomed out all the way. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take the 2370.73, subtract the 237, and subtract the 899.86. So this gives us a balance of $1,233.87, guys, that we are left over to apply to one of these other categories. So what you should think about is what your current goals are. So yes, I do need to put groceries in here because that is important. But besides that, what is your focus on at this season in life? Are you wanting to focus on paying off debt? Do you have a savings account? I recommend following the baby steps like Dave Ramsey suggests. I do coordinate a Financial Peace University class, so I am a FPU coordinator. I've gone through Financial Peace University, and I am currently on, back on baby step like 1 because we were on baby step number 2, which is paying off debt, but we had to borrow from our emergency fund because of a car problem, and now we're focusing on putting money on emergency fund. But also what Dave Ramsey recommends is if you know that something is coming up, if you are expecting a child, if you know that you're going to be on a leave, or your company is probably going to go out of business, or something that you are expecting is going to happen, you're anticipating this, then he says pause everything and pile up the cash. Pile up that cash for getting this particular purchase. So right now we do have funds that covers well above the baby step 1, which is $1,000. Currently, we are focusing on, yes, putting back the money in the emergency fund, which we're like a couple $100 away from that after we do this. But we have to buy a new car, or new to us car, used car really in March. And that's when my car lease is due to be returned back to the dealer. And we no longer want to have debt. So we are focusing on saving as much money so that we can buy like maybe a $5,000 used car for me. So that's kind of our focus right now. So talk to your spouse, talk to your significant other, talk with someone and kind of figure out what are your priorities right now. Figure out how much you have in your savings and what you want to focus on. So my budget it works for us and my family and where we are currently. It may not work for you all. You might be thinking you would do it a different way, but this is what works for us, and we kind of have to shift our focus on paying down debt right now. So we're not going to be doing that currently, even though I really, really want to, especially having this amount of money left over. I would love to just pay off some debt, but right now we have to save the money, and that's really more important to us because March is right around the corner. So that's kind of where we are right now. But I'm going to go ahead and focus on the cash envelope section, and then we'll go to this so you all can see. So yes, right now we are going to put money to groceries. And on that budget worksheet, I had wrote down $75. But if you all follow me on Instagram, and I think I mentioned this on one of the other videos, I had originally set aside $25 in here for groceries, that I was only going to spend $25, and then the rest we're going to figure out what we have in our pantry and supplement and do that. Well, my husband, he had another thought of doing a no spend on groceries and just, having meals and cooking and from what we have in our fridge, freezer, and our pantry. And we had a lot of food. And guys, we have not spent the $25. So we have successfully completed the no spend week, which is crazy. Yes, it is Thursday, but we already have a plan of what we're going to do for tomorrow. And we've completed this challenge that my husband set up. So because there's already $25 in this envelope, we usually only have 50. So we usually have 75, so the difference is 50. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and budget out for, which is the $50. And then I'm going to move on to other cash envelopes that we've discussed what we want to fund. So the first one is car maintenance. We do want to start building this back up again because we did use everything in the car maintenance envelope. So we're going to start this off with $30. For this month, the remaining budget, so for the month of October, there was a remaining budgeted amount for eating out, which is $40. After this, we are no longer going to be putting funds, as mentioned in the November budget. We are not going to be adding any more to eating out. Then, same thing for gifts. There was a budgeted amount for October remaining of $20. Spending also. And then vacation, we do have a vacation planned in November, so this is still going to be funded. So $72 is what was left over. Now, you can see here that I don't have one cash envelope that I did plan a budget for the month of October. So I will be sharing my October recap so you all can see where my current numbers are, where we stand in our budget, and kind of an update on all of that and an overview. But you don't see Christmas on here. And if you watched my last video of my budget for November, we are no longer funding our Christmas envelope. And that is starting now. That is something that I was kind of debating with my husband going back and forth, you know, should we, because we budgeted for October and it's the last pay and we have all this money left over, should we just, you know, fund that and then next month not add anything? And he said, why would we do that if we already made the plan and we made the decision that we're going to sacrifice, you know, putting a little extra in Christmas? We're not going to do that anymore because we have other things that we want to focus on that are more important. So because of that, we made the decision that this month we're stopping now. So going forward, we will not be funding Christmas. We will not be funding eating out, gifts, and spending. Or I'm sorry, date night, eating out, gifts, and Christmas. We will not be funding. So now let's go ahead, after I explained that a little too much, let's go ahead and add up these totals. Okay, so $252 is the total cash envelopes. So now we're going to take the $1,233.87 and we're going to subtract the $252, right? Because we still have money that we have to budget for. And the point is to give every dollar a place to be, so every dollar a job. So now the remaining balance is $981.87. So as I mentioned to you before, right now the focus is not paying off debt. So that is already out of the question. We're not going to be doing that. So where is this money going to go? Well, let me kind of show you that quick summary sheet of what I shared in a prior video, which is the 80-20 budget. So 80% is what should be your expenses and what you want to spend money on. And the other 20% should be broken down to giving and then a savings account. Okay, giving and then a savings account. So if I look at that, 10%, what we decided is we were going to put $237, so 10% of what this income is. So we've already calculated that here. So $237, what our choice is to put that in our emergency fund. Okay, so that's how we broke it down. So 10% here, just like the tithe. So this leaves us with a remaining balance still of $744.87. So guess where this is going? Leave it in the comments if you have the idea, if you already know the answer. If you said car fund, you are correct. Yes, we are putting this to our car fund. So $744.87, guys, from this paycheck is going to our car fund. So that total remaining balance is going to all to savings. So that is what my budget looks like. So now we have to figure out how much cash, how to break down our cash. So the cash denominations. So I do withdraw my tithe. So it's going to be two $100 bills, 20, 30, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to go ahead and move down through this. So $50 for groceries, 20, 30, 20, 40, 20, 20, 40, 50, 70, 1, and 2. So we have two $100 bills, two 50s, 8 20s, two 10s, 1 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4 singles. So the total cash that we are withdrawing is the $237 plus the $252. So $489 is the total. And I've already had gone to the bank. I wrote up my little Post-it note of what I want, and the teller went ahead and gave it to me. So we're gonna go ahead and now get started stuffing my cash envelopes. All right, so let's go ahead and get stuffing these cash envelopes, and I'm gonna go through my paycheck budget sheet and go ahead and stuff them. So the first thing is the tithe. So this is my giving envelope, is getting $200 $37. 6 and 7. And this is gonna go in my wallet because I will be going to church. And now let's move on to the cash envelopes portion. So $50 is going in my grocery envelope. So I'm gonna add $50. Okay. Car maintenance is getting $30. So now there's a $30 balance in here. Nothing going to Christmas. Nothing here. Eating out is getting $40. So there's a balance of eating out. Gifts is getting $20. So there should be $49 in here. 20, 30, 40, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Okay. The next one is spending. So that's getting 40. Okay, and then the last one is vacation, which is getting the last $72. And I need to get a new sheet for this. So, all right. So cash envelopes are all stuffed. My budget is done and I'm ready for the new month with new goals. So if you liked today's video, make sure you give this a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.